Welcome to my channel Chemistry Class. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Chemistry Class. My dear student, in our previous lessons, we talked about the states of matter. But today, we are going to learn something new and very important, which is the different forms of matter based on composition. Let's begin at what does composition mean? Composition mean what something is made of. So when we say different forms of matter based on composition, we are asking that what is matter made up of? And based on this, matter is divided into two main forms. Different forms of matter based on composition. Matter is divided into two main forms, which is number one, pure substance, and the second one as mixture. Further, a pure substance is classified or divided into two forms, elements and compounds, and a mixture is divided into two forms, homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Let's understand each one and details. The first one is a pure substance. Pure substance. So, pure substance is a type of matter that is made up of only one kind of particles. It has a fixed composition and distinct properties. It has a fixed composition and distinct properties. My dear student, pure substance are classified into two types. The first one is element and the second one is compounds. Now, what is element? An element is a pure substance that consists of only one type of atoms and cannot be broken down into simpler substances by chemicals mean. Elements are the basic building blocks of all matters. Each element is identified by its unique number of proton and the nucleus, also known as its atomic number. Now, what is the properties of matter? Matter have uniform composition. All the atoms are identicals and elements. Elements cannot be broken down into simpler substances. Elements found in nature or made in laboratories. The chemical behavior is defined by the structures of its atoms. Examples of element: hydrogens, the most abundant element in the universe. It is a gas at room temperature and forms compound like waters. Oxygen, vital for respiration in animals and combustion processes. Iron, a metal commonly used in construction and manufacturing. Carbon, found in all living organisms and essential for life. The second one is compounder. A compound is a pure substance that consists of two or more different elements that are chemically combined in a fixed ratio. The properties of a compound are different from the individual element that make it up. Now, the properties of compound have a fixed composition. A compound has a specific and constant ratio of atoms. Chemical bonding, the atoms are connected by chemicals bond, either covalent, mean sharing electrons, or ionic, mean transfer of electrons. And compound can be broken down into simpler substances by By chemicals method. Examples of compounds: water. A compound is made of two hydrogen atoms bonded to one oxygen atom. It has completely different properties from hydrogens and oxygens. Sodium chloride, common table salt, made of sodium and chlorine atoms. It is in ionic compounds. Carbon dioxide, a compound made up of one carbon atoms and two oxygen atoms and two oxygen atoms. It is a gas at room temperature and is produced during respirations. But yes, being compounds are chemically stable and have a constant composition. The properties of compounds are very different from the properties of the individual element that form them. Important difference between elements and compounds: the properties, composition, separation, and the last one is examples. Element one, type of atoms, but in compounds two or more different atoms. Elements cannot be broken, but compound can be broken chemically. And examples of element: oxygens, iron, hydrogens, and examples of compounds at H2O, waters, NaCl, sodium chloride, and CO2, carbon dioxide. Now let's start the second type of matter, which is a mixture. A mixture is a combination of two or more substances, which is elements, compounds, or both, that are physically combined and not chemically bonded. And mixture, the individual component retain their original properties and can be separated by physical method. My dear student, mixture are classified into two types. The first one is homogeneous mixture, and the second one is heterogeneous mixture. So, the first one, homogeneous mixture. A homogeneous mixture is a mixture that has a uniform composition throughout. In these mixtures, you cannot see the separate component because they are evenly distributed at the molecular levels. Properties of homogeneous mixture: uniform compositions. The components are mixed at molecular or atomic levels and cannot easily separate the component by physical mean. Examples include a solution where one substance dissolves in another. Examples of homogeneous mixture: salt water. Salt dissolves evenly in waters, forming a uniform mixture. The salt and water are not visible as separate substances. Air, a mixture of gases like nitrogens 78%, oxygen 21%, and other gases. The composition is uniform throughout. Sugar solution. Sugar dissolved in water forms a homogeneous mixture where the sugar is evenly distributed. My dear student, solution are common type of homogeneous mixture where a solute dissolves in a solvent. So the second one is heterogeneous mixture. Heterogeneous mixture is a mixture in which the composition is not uniform throughout. You can see the different components and easily separate them by physical mean. Properties of heterogeneous mixture: non-uniform composition. The individual components are visibly different and can be physically separated. Visible particles are layered. You can see the different substances that make up the mixture. Example include suspensions and colloids. Now, examples of heterogeneous mixtures: oil and waters. When mixed oil and waters do not dissolve into one another, the oil floats on the top of the waters and you can see the two layers. Sand and salt of mixed, the grains of sand and salt are visible and can be separated by simple method like dissolving in waters and filtering. Salad, the vegetables, fruit and raisins are clearly visible and can be easily separated. But dear student, the suspension, a type of heterogeneous mixture where particles are temporarily suspended in a liquid such as muddy waters. The word suspension is used in a heterogeneous mixture. So, suspension, a type of heterogeneous mixture where particles are temporarily suspended in a liquid such as muddy waters. And also, word collide is used. Collide in other type of heterogeneous mixture where the components are mixed more finely, but you can still see some difference, like milk or whipped cream. So, comparison between a homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. Property, appearance, visibility of parts, and examples. Homogeneous mixture uniforms, heterogeneous mixture non-uniforms, and homogeneous mixture cannot be seen separately, but heterogeneous mixture can be seen separately. Examples of homogeneous mixture: air, salt, water, and tea. Examples of heterogeneous mixture is oil and water, salad, soil. My dear student, that's all for today about the different form of meter based on compositions. My dear student, if you found this lessons useful, then don't forget to like and share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel and press the bell icons. Take care and see you in the next class. Thank you for listening.